Hello everyone, and welcome to the Autoimmune Dietitian YouTube channel. My name is Annie. I'm a registered dietitian, and I work with people struggling with autoimmune diseases. In my work with my clients, I help them use both food and lifestyle as a way to improve their symptoms and hopefully get them back to where they were before they were diagnosed. So today we are talking about elimination diets. Elimination diets are the gold standard for uncovering food sensitivities, food intolerances, and even allergies. And going through this process is important because all these conditions can raise inflammation in the body. And when it comes to autoimmune diseases, inflammation is not what we want. So today I'm covering what elimination diets are and the right way to execute them. Before I jump in, I just need to attach my usual disclaimer to this video that the information in today's talk is not the substitute for the diagnosis, treatment, or care of disease by a medical provider. This is for informational purposes only. So please consult your qualified health professional for any changes you make to your medical care. All right, so elimination diets are eating patterns. I don't like to use the word diet. I think it's a very negative connotation. So I like to think of them as eating patterns that remove specific and potentially problematic foods in order to see improvements in symptoms. Most people go on elimination diets to figure out the root cause of an underlying issue. The earliest mention of using elimination diets dates back to 1926. However, the practice of removing certain foods to cure ailments has been used for centuries by many different cultures around the globe. There are a number of different common elimination diets for different conditions. Within the autoimmune population, the autoimmune protocol or AIP is very popular. There's also low FODMAP for people who have digestive issues. There's a specific carbohydrate diet for inflammatory bowel disease, the 6-food elimination diet, which removes the top 6 common allergens, and the histamine elimination diet for people who may be sensitive to histamines. I'm sure there's a lot more. Those are just kind of the common ones that I've seen people either try or I've, actually put people on. So how do you do an elimination diet? The first step is to choose the elimination diet that matches your underlying issue. Since there are a lot of different types of elimination diets, you want to make sure you find the one that will help you get the best results. No matter what elimination diet you do, there's always 2 phases. There is the elimination phase, and then there's the reintroduction phase. The elimination phase should be no longer than 6 weeks. I know some people with AIP, they say 3 months. I think that's a little long in my personal opinion because, again, the risk with elimination diets is you are more susceptible to nutrient deficiencies if you're not doing it correctly. So no longer than 6 weeks. And, again, if things are not improving within 6 weeks, there must be something else going on that's not food related that needs to be addressed. I always tell people to plan before you start the elimination phase. The biggest issue that people run into is not planning, not having the food around, having other food around, and then they, kind of fall into the trap of like a food emergency, and then they just eat whatever available, and it's usually not the food that fits on the elimination diet. So you want to be prepared before you start. Never start an elimination diet without doing a pantry clean out, without getting your recipes organized, doing some meal prep, figuring out what you are actually going to eat, getting snacks in the house. You want everything ready to go. So when you do start that elimination phase, you're going to be as prepared as possible, and that will help you be very successful. The second phase, the reintroductions, always throws people off, and it's probably the most difficult of the 2 phases because at this point you're adding foods in one at a time and you're trying to figure out if you have a reaction to them. So we will be talking about reintroductions later this month in a lot more detail, but this is really where people get stuck and confused. And I see a number of clients of mine come to me, they've tried AIP and they got stuck in the reintroductions and they didn't know what to do, and so then they seek professional help. So that is where people get really stuck. And if that's you, that's totally fine. It is very common. The last important thing to remember when you're doing an elimination diet is to track your symptoms. It is really the only way to know if things are improving. We have short-term memories and we don't remember how we felt from one day to the next. So using an objective number scale to assess the severity of symptoms is a really smart idea. And, you don't have to track kind of everything, but pick the things that matter to you most. Maybe it's digestive issues or joint pain or sleep quality or brain fog or bloating. You want to just make sure that, the elimination diet, you want to make sure that it's actually working. And if things are improving, then you know that it's working. Additionally, the improvements can be really small and not things that you would expect. So when a lot of my clients do elimination diets, they notice things like less brain fog, more energy, less bloating before they see improvements in the major symptoms like joint pain. And just to reiterate, if you don't see any improvements within 6 weeks, it's time to try something else. If you do see improvements, then move on to bringing back the eliminated foods one at a time in a very slow, controlled manner. So that is all we have for today. We talked about elimination diets, what they are, and how to get started on them. If you would like more help managing your autoimmune disease or your inflammatory condition with food and lifestyle, I would love to chat with you. I offer free 15-minute discovery calls to learn about you and to see if I'm a good fit for you. So go to the link in my YouTube profile. It should be there. You can also go to my website, annierubin.com. I've got lots of free materials there. I have an extensive blog, just lots of information to kind of help you through your healing journey. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. I put these out about every week, just trying to give you lots of free tips and tricks to help you feel better. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.